Sometimes I have friends, sometimes come to my house. The way I talk to Nyla is like, oh my God, I've never seen you that side of personality, and
So
talking to
can you give us an example?
Yeah.
What's your Nyla voice? I'm Jen Moroz, and this is Furball Confidential. If you're a foodie, chances are you know today's guest, world-renowned chef Susur Lee. Maybe you've been to one of his amazing restaurants, or maybe you remember him from his Iron Chef Canada days.
Susur Lee grabbing that king crab, the biggest crab in the Eastern Hemisphere. Most coveted, found in the waters off the coast of Alaska.
Let's go, guys.
Or you might know Chef Lee from TikTok or YouTube, where he's teamed up with his son Jet and racked up millions of followers.
Hey, Dad, think you can turn this McDonald's gourmet?
McDonald? Of course I can. You know that.
But what you might not know about Susur Lee is that behind all that, he is absolutely obsessed with his dog, a Siberian husky named Nyla that we rarely get to see. But trust me, she is a fixture behind the scenes. And the amount of love and respect that Chef has for this furball, well, it's what this podcast is all about. So let's dive right in. I asked Chef what changed in his life when Nyla arrived, and it's a theme that came up a lot during this conversation.
As an immigrant, coming to Canada, coming from Hong Kong, winter is really a challenging, climax for me. But since I have Nyla, I actually enjoy winter because when I go out, even very cold, I don't think about how I feel. I think about how happy she is.
Yeah.
So the mindset is like, I keep walking. Now I can walk for a long distance. It feels very normal. It used to be, jump in the car from one point to another point. Now, no, I would just walk. I said, okay, I'm just going to walk to get to one A to B. That changed a lot in terms of like walking and enjoying, the weather, the air. And also, recently, as you know how much snow we had.
Even though it was technically spring when we taped this, it is Toronto, and there was snow in April.
I took her out. My God, I was like, like walking in such a high snow bank. I was sweating, and she was hopping like a rabbit, and I was so happy to see that. And I said to myself, not very long, you won't see that, So I always really conscious about, how happy she can be, without dogs, with the face when she decided wanted to play. There's when you walk to the park, suddenly she turns around, have that look in my eyes to say, I want to play. Do you want it to play? And then she start running around. It was just like a connection. It's very hard to describe. It's a moment. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, okay, let's go.
Yes.
So that feeling is it's extremely honest, and it really give me another sort of like a very light spirit in the beginning in the morning. And I always believe morning is a very important day for any human because when you started not a good day, there are some other things it's easy to trigger you to have a bad day. Let's put it that way. So Nyla did change me, very mindful about,
And like watching them, like just hearing you describe watching Nyla hop through the snow, I feel the same way with Clutch. Like there's almost like your heart, it's like the Grinch, with the heart is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
And like your heart wants to explode because they're so happy and you're so happy for giving them that happiness.
Yeah, and seeing that is their nature of being a husky in their habitat. And you can really see, this is in my element. This is what I love. This is what I am in the nature of being a lot of snow. So that's how I got to know her. What is when she's emotionally, dogs, they hear anything, they feel everything. They don't have to look at you. So And it really give me pay a lot of attention by little things. That switched to, because I work with, hospitality. And I'm very mindful about, my customers, their energy, their body language, and my staff, how all that stuff is based on all these learning little things by watching.
Right.
That is also, it has changed, a lot of that little detail. But, one thing is really great this morning happened with me and Nyla was, sometimes when she walks by herself, off leash, and sometimes there's a big tree and she didn't see me. And suddenly she was like, oh, she was very relaxed, just sniffing around. Suddenly, oh, where is he? You can see that like little nervousness, like, where's my master?
That's
and then
right.
She looked, and then she saw me, and then she relaxed. That means so much to me. It means she really relying on me, her livelihood, pretty much. I feed her, I give her water, all that stuff. And, that really kind of give me that kind of connection over responsibility was really great.
You mentioned, starting off your day, like feeling happy because of her and how much that helps you get through sometimes stressful days. And right now we're living in a very stressful time. You also have a very stressful, I would imagine, but a stressful career where you're in kitchens and it's intense. Do you find that Nyla is also, I don't know, a bit of a touchstone that helps keep any stress at bay?
Very much so. I make time sometimes. In my restaurant, we work at night. Sometimes I said, oh, you know what? I'm going home early. I'm going to be getting up early. I'm going to walk Nyla early. So there is sort of like that responsibility that you say, okay, I'm not going out with my friend, have a drink tonight. I'm going straight home. Normally I get to bed at a certain time. Tonight I go to bed even earlier. Tomorrow I'm making sure that she have more time to spend with me. So all that little things that really decompresses me is also having a good night's sleep.
Yes.
And, sometimes first thing in the morning, she likes me to run around with her. And I say, okay, all right, okay. I'm going to, have a little play around with her a little bit. So I'm always up for when she wanted to play. That makes me happy. But in terms of decompress, when she's walking, when I'm walking, she's not the kind of a dog runs on in the park. She would just walk and just look at me and walk. And it gives me a lot of time to really think about my day. Have a little bit of a sort of like, what do I do today? Okay, I have a list of things. I make it into priority. What is the most important thing? So when I'm walking, it gives me those free time. My brain opens up, not like sitting on my desk or going to the kitchen and just looking at four walls. And, I need space in my brain because
I so relate to that.
It is a very stressful kind of a business, but I'm so used to it. It's not like a bad stress. It's an exciting stress. So Nyla do really, grounded me, when I come home. Doesn't matter, how late at night, how early when I come home. And she just like have the ears going back. It's like just looking at me and it just, hopping and turning around and, and be with me and welcoming me home. That kind of stuff is really, I just in that moment, I don't remember anything what happened when I got off the car. I just don't.
It's magic.
It is like, okay, I'm here with you. What's going on? How is your day? I kind of like, I said to my wife, sometimes I talk to my dog when I'm walking. I felt like a crazy person.
Listen, if you are, join the crazy club because me too. If you're listening to this podcast, chances are you've had at least a few of those conversations. Honestly, our pets probably know way too much about us. I know Clutch does.
They understand. They understand not the language, the energy, the voice you're projecting. and it's positive. They know how to receive it.
Yeah.
Dog doesn't really understand English, but they understand energy. That's the bottom line of Nyla is very in touch. When I'm riding on my bike, I just as simple as, hey, good dog, huh? And then her ears move, because she was listening what I was saying.
Yeah. It's amazing.
So those are the, my day of changes. And also give me a lot of, creativity, right? When you have, that 45 minutes of, you're giving the world for you to think about, creativity with food, things I wanted to do. It is really great to have those space. And I have a choice. I can stay home to do that, but I like to take her out. So the positive thing is giving me to open my mind to walk and think. And the sun, especially when the sun hits, it's like, oh, wow. Okay, really treasure that. Those are the special moments. Yes.
I'm curious. You mentioned something a little earlier, and I was curious, like some people view themselves in relationship to their pets as like a guardian, or some people view themselves as a pet parent. I'm curious, like, how would you qualify your relationship to Nyla?
I respect Nyla as an animal, number one, as sort of like her habitat, being a husky. Number two, I am not a needy person with Nyla. I don't, go to interfere her space while she's upstairs lying in her own bed. I always go very gentle. When I come home, I don't make a huge ordeal, making her jump and, doing paws, go around, feed and give me this. I don't like to train dogs like that. Dogs are not supposed to be like that. When dog trusted you, safety, recall, and also, when they're in danger, you should protect because they do it, right? Rely on you. So those are the things that I really conscious about, specifically Nyla, because I meet other dogs. I wouldn't like to behave as an owner with other dogs the way some people behave with, So I'm very conscious. Nyla is not like a pet to me. He is a companion. He's an animal.
Yeah.
She's an animal. And I want to take her as much as that she feel comfortable being a husky. And that is my sort of like I'm trying to understand even more about her.
I understand Nyla started off with one of your sons, and then you ended up adopting her. Can you walk me through what happened there and how she came into your life?
Well, Levi used to have two dogs. One is Pomsky.
Mm-hmm.
They grew up together. He got them together when they were babies, and then he moved to LA. And then he asked a friend to look after the dog, and I saw the dog in the park. I wasn't that close with Nyla, and I didn't like the look of the dog because, that the dog reflecting, because Levi didn't completely, forgotten Nyla. He was just letting some friends to take care of.
Yeah.
So, and I still have the attachment with my son, what he loves, which is his dog.
Right.
So there's the third party of relationship there. So I look at it. I said, "Oh my God, I don't like the look of a dog like that." It wasn't.
Was it that she didn't look happy, or?
Well, it's not. It's just I see, because I used to have dogs. Always look at dogs. If they are healthy, the way their neck when they are walking, heads up, not happy, just walking, slouch, and all that stuff. You can see the emotion. So when I saw the dog in the park. Saw Nyla, I wasn't very happy. I didn't say anything, and then Levi said, "Hey, my friend is taking care of. Sometimes I don't know how she's dealing with Nyla." And I said, and then he said, "Dad, do you think you can take care of Nyla?" I said, "Yes, I can." Right away, I took Nyla home.
So there was no question.
No question, because when he asked me, it's like he said, "Hey, can you take care of my kid?"
Right.
Of
right.
course I can take care
Well,
of
for
kid.
that generation, it kind of could be, right? Yes.
Yeah. So, I look at it that way. When I took Nyla, um, I'm one of these kind of person. I would never want to have a dog because I'm a very attached and very nostalgic person. So when a dog is like a relationship, I would put 100%, or I don't want to have a dog because when the dog leave me, if I leave the dog, there would be a sadness. And I don't
Right.
want that emotion because I wanted, hey, you know what? Why do I want to bring in that sadness? But when I said I'm going to take the dog, 100%, I would take care of the dog. It's a commitment, one or the other. There's
Right.
no halfway.
That's great. And so for you, it seems like it was a very quick decision for you. Yes, I'm going to take Nyla. Was there something about your life? Because you'd said, I'm not going to take a dog unless I can really give the dog what it needs. Was there something that was happening in your life then that made that the right moment to take Nyla or not?
Yeah, I'm a very disciplined person, and I see that, in order to have something really great, you have to be disciplined that way. Take care of things. I'm one of those kind of guy. I would buy a pair of shoes. It would keep me like 20 years, and because I
Right.
would love to take care of the leather. I'm putting something to make sure the shoe still look great. I'm not a wasteful person that way. So when I took over Nyla, is a commitment for me to like making sure that she's healthy, making sure she's going to be my dog, making sure that she's going to love me to be a master. All those things I gradually learn about her and learn about myself. And of course, there are things need to change. Of course, for example, certain schedule. My son, because I do a lot of YouTubing with my son.
Yes.
And then I said, "Oh, you know what? 1 o'clock, I'm not available." He said, "What? What? You're feeding Nyla? You go for a walk with?" I said, "Of course I am. I'm not.
You know
You're
my
not
schedule.
the only one that I love to just do things with you. I have priorities. So and sometimes, of course, kids will think, oh, "God, just a dog, Dad. He's just giving kibbles." No, I'm not going to give kibbles.
Listen, this is a world-renowned chef we're talking to, so definitely no kibble for this pup. Just before we started this conversation, Chef was whipping up Nyla's freshly made lunch. And let's just say, I'll have what she's having.
So those are a lot of things that I kind of like committed. So my son knows, everyone loves something. They have to love something. You can't change them.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're my kids. I love you. It's just different. So I have a love of a dog. So that part it kind of changed a little bit to understand. I think it's important. Like kids should also see their parents are responsible to take care of things, and I think they need to see that.
We touched a little bit on this earlier, but like the flip side of discipline is like silliness, and you've described some mornings where you're running around with Nyla. I've certainly noticed that with my own dog Clutch, who as I said, I got her 3 years ago. So as a full-on adult, she brought out this silliness in me that I really just I had no idea existed. Like where we're racing around here's a grown woman racing around the house with her dog. So did you find that was opened up by Nyla, or was that already opened up prior to her arrival?
Well, sometimes I have friends, sometimes come to my house. The way I talk to Nyla is like, oh my God, I've never seen you that side of personality. And
So can you give us an example?
Yeah.
What's your Nyla voice?
There's one when she came back from a first walk in the morning because my kitchen is on the ground floor, and she comes up from the first floor. And when she comes in, I heard, and then I say, Nyla, Nyla, Nyla. It's like continue, and she's like a little kid coming from school, and she was just hopping down And that face is like I embrace her, and she just like tuck in with me. It's just like a little kid. Just finished her afternoon school coming home. And that is like, wow, that is like the sweet. I drop everything. If I have a meeting, I don't care. Even now, if say we are talking, if Nyla comes in, sorry, it take me another few minutes to greet her first.
Well, listen, she is she is welcome to make an appearance on this podcast anytime, Chef. Anytime. You mentioned that you've had dogs before. Like, when did you start a relationship with pets? Like, have they been in your life a long time, or?
When I was like as young as like I was kindergarten, my mom used to work for the British Army as a tea lady. So when the army decided to go back to England, she would be, they would ask her, hey, I have a rabbit, because they have pets for the kids. Can you take the rabbit, because they're not taking it back to England?
Oh, right.
So my mom said, sure. So that my first pet was Chixie, was a German Shepherd.
Okay.
And I remember a dog, but I don't remember was a German Shepherd. And then later on in life, my sister would show photograph of the family. I was just like a little kid. They always talk about Chixie, how smart Chixie is, and especially my older sister, very in touch with Chixie. Then the rabbit came to our life. Then I starting to really understand, because they're just cute little thing, very independent. We live in a small house. We have like family of 8. So that was like, because I have 4 sisters and a brother. And so all my sisters are really caring for animals too. So she always, talk to animals. And I was a kid. I was growing up with that spirit already, naturally.
Right.
Yeah. Was seeing dogs on the street, always pet, always say hi, wild dogs and all that stuff.
So what was the difference, would you say? Because I've noticed I had a dog growing up too, and I've found it very different being the responsible one. What is having Nyla like compared to like Trixie, if you can even remember, because you were still young, but.
Well, it's a maturity of a relationship, and that relationship is, of course, when you are much older, you're responsible, and Nyla livelihood, it's dependent on you, how you wanted to making sure she has a dog life, a good dog life. So I think, and when you're young, it was just a pet.
Right.
Everything you just wanted to scratch and hug and play around and interfere the dog space. But now now I look at someone like Nyla as a company, and she's a dog and has a very good company with me. So I think that it switches the difference between as a young person and an older person. It's just learning about, animal spirit, so sometimes we forgot about just human spirit, but animal also have a spirit that, if you look at, all kinds of, yoga poses, it's all come from animal poses.
Right.
So, there's a reason animal brings, the combined with human, and there's a balance element to it. So, and I enjoy, I look at myself, working in this industry, it has been, as a very disciplined industry, especially being a chef, following recipe, protocol, timing, creativity, teamwork. Like when I am not in that element, everything I just like take off my apron. Is like I'm with this really back into my nature, human being, as a kid, as a father, as a master, as a leader, and suddenly it was just like, okay, this is who I am. I'm just sharing that with this animal that doesn't talk back, and I just showing my emotion. That's exactly how it feels from the young and until being an adult.
So it sounds to me like caring for Nyla has really deepened your sense of
Yeah.
spirituality.
Yeah, it is. It is. Every moment is when I see her is a therapy. It's like I'm seeing a therapist of my own self. There's no answer. There's emotional is give me the answer, and I think that's what it is.
You were talking before about the difference between having a pet when you're a child and an adult, and I was nodding my head all the way through your answer because I totally relate to that. But it sounds too, you were a family of 6 kids, right? With Trixie, and then Nyla, it seems, is very much your dog. Am I right about that?
It is my dog.
Okay.
I can't see myself. She's the only one.
Yep.
She's the only one that really. I'm so glad to share this with you. Talking, if I talk to my friends, they think I'm nuts.
Listen,
about Nyla,
you're talking to the wrong people, Chef. You need to be talking to all the pet people out here. That's what
exactly,
you need to be doing.
So we're in the right moment to explore myself. Actually, it's a good therapy. Thank you.
Yeah. Because you do, I mean, I know there's other dogs in the family. Your sons have some dogs. And then your wife, we were just talking before we started this conversation, and you said your wife has a dog, but Nyla is yours.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, 100%. That, I'm a very focused person. When I have to deal with certain things, I want making sure that is my job, that is my responsibility, that is my love. There's something I would share with, and there's something she shared with me. In a day, sometimes it go past real fast.
Yeah.
And just want to enjoy those moments.
I'm curious, you have quite a following between your own following on social media, but also, as you mentioned before, with your son, Jet, you're on YouTube and you're also on TikTok where you've got millions of followers. I'm curious, we rarely see Nyla on your socials. How's that? How come?
I'm not I'm very private that way. I like to, my media more driven really is my profession because of my love for cooking.
Yeah.
I really separate, my private life about, I've been practicing yoga for years. I don't do, posting every time, I will be in the studio. I like to separate those things. This is home stuff for me. Yeah. That's my inner home.
Yeah.
My inner self of a home. And I don't really like to, explore that to the outside world because this is what I like. I don't need it to, I don't know. This is how
you don't need to put it on display. I understand.
No,
that. I 100% understand that. But back to Nyla.
Yes.
What would you say, and this is a hard one, but what would you say the biggest lesson you've learned from your time with Nyla?
Very good question. I think, again, back to the discipline with my profession.
Mm-hmm.
I really learned about when it need to be soft and when it need to be like disciplined and hard. And I think that really kind of like it changes me. And sometimes I say, oh, okay, I did not think about that part about myself today. And of course, there are other spiritual things that I believe that also changes me. And also because I give those energy to Nyla and Nyla give it back to me. So I would say it's a great rhythm. What Nyla had taught me. There are things could be just take it easy. There's things could be, different. And I think that is giving me time. That's it. It really changes me, giving me time because of, the walking, to making time to do something that it takes time to do, not just, like I talk about not getting a car to drive somewhere. I would make time to, there's a process to do those outdoorsy things, and it actually makes me feel good. And explore that, it changes me as a person. I think in a very kind of, not the word sensitive, I think mindful, that's the word. Very mindful. Yes.
That sounds, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's hard to choose what lessons they teach us, because there tend to be so many. And through this conversation, we've learned, I feel like we've learned a lot about you as well as Nyla. So thank you so much, Chef, for taking the time today. It was really great to talk to you.
So glad it's Nyla, Nylatherapy today.
Nylatherapy, I love that. And I love how much Chef talks about his appreciation for Nyla, not just as a dog, but specifically as a husky. There's such deep respect there. You can follow Chef Lee on Instagram at Susur Lee, or check him out on YouTube and TikTok with his son Jet. They're at Iron Chef Dad or at Jet Bentley. Better yet, check out one of his fabulous restaurants. There's the Flagship Lee here in Toronto at its new Richmond Street location. Or if you're in Singapore, why not check out TungLok Heen? That's it for this episode. If you liked what you heard, throw us a bone, will ya? Drop us a review, tell a friend, give us a follow. We'd love to spread the word. Furball Confidential is created and hosted by me, Jen Moroz. Our show producer is Talia Schlanger. She also co-created our theme music with David Travers Smith, with Brian Kobayakawa on bass. Reza Daya does our sound and video design and editing. Danny Stover does our social media. Our show artwork is by Adrian Foro. And Marina Hanna does our audience development. And thanks, as always, to the furball who started it all, Clutch. I'm Jen Moroz. See you next time on Furball Confidential.